Good morning. This is Jacoby, starting out my day. The only thing that you need in recovery to kind of have a meeting is your coffee, a cigarette, and a resentment. That's how you have a meeting. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm about to start my day here at Recovery Hotline. So here we go. It's going to be a morning. Let me have a sip of coffee. God, I don't have the strength. But let's see. Oh my God, that was good. Have a little cup of Jesus in the morning, you know what I'm saying? So much better than the alternative. Anyways, so I'm going to take my first call. Here we go. Let's see how it goes. All right. Thank you for calling the Recovery Assistance Hotline. This is Jacoby. How can I help you? And can I get your name, please? John. Oh, hello, John. Okay. What's going on, John? I'm sorry. Say that again. You're 3 weeks clean. You left rehab early. You met a girl. Of course you did, John. Okay. She's really good for you. What do I think about dating early in recovery? Well, John, what do I always... John, I'm going to be gentle with you. First, you got to learn to love yourself, John, before you can love anybody else. At 3 weeks clean, you're a hot mess, right? So, it's going to be a disaster. But you think you're terminally unique. Oh, I know we all do. So, John, what I'm going to do is I am going to transfer you to the What the Hell Were You Thinking hotline, and one of our agents will be able to explain why that's a bad idea. Okay, John. Yes, muzzle talk, John. Have a wonderful day. All right, let's take our next call. Thank you for calling the Recovery Assistance Hotline. This is Jacoby. How can I assist? Can I get your name, dear? Gabrielle. Oh, hello, Gabrielle. That's a beautiful name. What's your concern, doll? Triggers. Oh, my God. Triggers. Okay. What's a trigger? Well, Gabrielle, a trigger can be a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get real with you, sweetheart. Triggers can range anywhere from romanticizing our using days, right? Yeah. You look at the good times, you forget about the bad times. You know what I mean? Triggers can also mean, Gabrielle, that you surround yourself with people, places, and things that were involved in your using, right? Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so, Gabrielle, here's the deal. When I got clean, I chose to change my people, places, and things. Why? Because sometimes when I went by like a Holiday Inn, that was a trigger. Because I spent a lot of time at the Holiday Inn, Motel 6, whatever. I know it's going to sound crazy, but that's where I got high, Gabrielle. And before you know it, I don't know. It's like this feeling comes over me every time I get next to a hotel, motel. It's like it brings me back to the days of being totally high, chewing air biscuits. Oh, my God. And then I start to think to myself, it wasn't so bad. Are you kidding me? It was horrible. But a trigger can also be talking to people and being around people that talk about the good times of getting high, having a good time, getting drunk, right? I don't need those people anymore. You know what I'm saying? A trigger can also be where I don't talk about what's going on the inside. So I keep it on the inside. Where I don't get it off my chest. I don't tell people, hey, I'm struggling. Hey, I don't feel good. I'm feeling depressed. I don't feel adequate. I don't feel love in my heart. And if I don't get it out and talk to somebody so they can point out the fact that feelings are not facts, that right there, in a way, can be a trigger. For me, Gabrielle, and I'm just going to get real with you. Relationships can be a trigger, right? I just got off a call with a guy named John. John wanted to know if it's a good idea to get in a relationship 3 weeks clean. No. Why is that? Okay, well, I'll tell you why is that. Because, first of all, Gabrielle, anything that you put in front of your recovery, you're going to lose. You know, Gabrielle, it takes a little time for the mind to reset. You have to learn how to, it's getting clean and staying clean, sweetheart, is just one thing, right? But then you got to go in and you got to find out why it is that you used and you drank and everything else. You know, you can't fix an internal problem with an external solution. So if I get into a relationship and I put all my efforts and all my love into that person, who did I forget about? I forgot about the Mr. Kobe right here. And then all of a sudden, when I get those feelings of inadequacy and I don't love myself, well, then what happens, Gabrielle? I want to hide and suppress the feelings, and then I want to use because I don't feel like I'm good enough and I can't deal with the feelings. A trigger can also be putting myself around negative situations. I don't know if this makes sense, Gabrielle, but have you ever been around a group of people? I do know when I was in rehab and everything else, people would complain, I don't want to do this crap. I don't want to do this. This is stupid. And the negativity, right in itself, will tell my mind, give up. This isn't worth it. You know what? This is all BS. And when I surround myself around negative people and people that want to tear things down, that in itself can be a trigger. Because my disease tells me, you see, recovery is BS. I'm your old friend. I'm going to make things better. See, it's very hard, Gabrielle, for people to understand that you have to go through a lot of work and a huge process to tear yourself apart and try to find out how the engine inside works, right? You got to find the problem. And sometimes that takes being uncomfortable. Sometimes that takes, I'm so sorry, Gabrielle. It being uncomfortable, uneasy, and feeling feelings, right? So that in itself, feeling feelings and not being able to numb them, that can be a trigger. How do you get past that? Well, you talk to somebody, Gabrielle. Because you have to remember feelings are not facts. And if you walk through it, that uncomfortableness, once you get through the other side, you learn how to process those feelings and sit with those feelings without getting high. I don't know about you, Gabrielle, but the entire time I got high and the entire time I drank, I was avoiding my problems. I didn't want to feel, I didn't want to recognize, and I didn't want to understand what it was that I was going through. So I chose to use and drink. See, I don't hang around negative people anymore, Gabrielle. You want to know why? Because they're emotional vampires sometimes. They will drain you and they will suck the life out of you. Every time you get around them, it's wah, wah, woe is me, woe is me. Everything, I'm a victim. A whole world is my problem. That's why I am the way that I am. No, sweetheart, that's BS. Nope, that's your disease turning around and telling you. It's turning around and telling you that you're a victim. The greatest thing that you can do, Gabrielle, is to turn trauma into strength. When you're able to go through something, and the world's always going to come at you. Life has never been fair. It isn't now, it wasn't then, and it probably never will be. But it's how we go through it. Maintaining that positive attitude so that we can get through the other side. Yes, there's a million different reasons, why I could say I want to use. I could sit there and say, I was paralyzed. I wear prosthetics. I have Parkinson's. I'm ADD. I'm OCD. I got bipolar. I've got PTSD, and I recently signed up for AT&T. No, I'm just kidding. I would never sign up for AT&T. They're a horrible service. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. The thing is, I could sit there and say, I'm a victim. Look at my horrible life. But I will tell you this, Gabrielle, using never changed anything. It actually made it worse. So what do? I go towards, you know that old expression, go towards the light, Carol Ann, go towards light. It's an old Poltergeist reference. Anywho, what I'm trying to say is I hang around people that shine. I don't go around Motel 6s and Holiday Inns. Maybe one day, I'll go stay at a nice hotel, but it's going to be a Hyatt, not a Motel 6, I'll tell you that. So, anywho, because I'm in recovery and I could actually afford a Hyatt or, those kind of hotels. But anyways, the thing is, I don't hang around people, places, and things that remind me of when I was using. And I don't sit in the itty-bitty shitty committee, because that right there is a trigger. And I'm going to get real with you, Gabrielle. I don't get into intimate relationships until I'm ready, because that in itself can be a trigger. Being intimate with someone and being so vulnerable can bring up insecurities, it can bring up codependency, it can bring up all kinds of things. And until I learn to love Kobe and be comfortable with who I am, you know what I mean? Because let me tell you, being intimate with somebody was a huge trigger. You know what I mean? Because I felt I didn't like my body. I felt insecure. I mean, come on, Gabrielle. I got these skinny little chicken legs. And then I got to wear prosthetics over them. And then I felt when I was no longer clothed and I was exposed, were they going to love me? Were they going to find me attractive or repulsive? And the drugs and the alcohol told me that I was enough. But it was a false sense of security. Triggers can be a crazy thing, but that is your disease trying to seep in and try to take over. You don't need that. That's why it's important to work the steps, call a sponsor, and have an incredible network so you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yes? Okay. Does that make a little sense, Gabrielle? Triggers. And here's another thing, Gabrielle. Don't buy into the triggers for too long, sweetheart. Talk to somebody. Get it out. Our secrets keep us sick if we don't talk about them. And then all of a sudden, we will spin out. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, Gabrielle. We relapse well before we relapse mentally. We start to check out. We stop being involved. And let me ask you a question. Are you in rehab or treatment? Okay, you're in a sober living. Okay. So when you feel yourself not going to meetings and not being of service and working steps and working with a sponsor and all of that, and you start to disconnect because you feel like you need some rest, you don't want to be around anybody anymore, watch out. Because that's when the disease has time to fester on your mind and take over. And oh my God, the disease can be a scary thing. But Gabrielle, stay strong, because you're worth it. Live the life you deserve, sweetheart, not the life that you've been living. Don't play into the drama. Stay away from drama. Don't sit in trauma too long. Talk about it with a professional. Does that help, sweetheart? Okay. Gabrielle, remember, you are enough. You are enough, and you are a winner every time you walk into the rooms of recovery and you share your story. And even if you don't think that you have anything valuable to say, somebody will hear you, and you will help somebody else by sharing your story. It's called Pay It Forward, sweetheart. That's right. That's right. And remember to love yourself enough to not play into the disease. All right. Thank you. Mazel tov. Have a great day, sweetheart. All right. Love you. Bye-bye. Anyways, Stools, I'm about to take my break. I gotta fill up my coffee. Gotta take all these calls. Anyways, love you all. Mazel tov. Mwah.